Isaiah Rivera said that if I want to jump my highest, I need to stop playing basketball. Let's take a look.
If you want to jump higher, stop playing basketball and train a lot. If you only want to jump a little bit higher, keep playing basketball and keep training. And if you don't want to improve your vertical, keep playing a lot of basketball and don't train at all. If you want to jump.
Okay, so this was a very short video, yet I am sure that this video pissed off a lot of athletes and also confused a lot of athletes. You got a lot of basketball players saying, well, I want to be the best that I can be at basketball, but I also want to jump my highest. Now you're telling me that if I want to jump my highest, I need to stop playing basketball. I am going to break this down for you, but first, I would like to show you just a few of these comments because I think you will get a kick out of them. So we have the dilemma of passion and having to quit it to improve it. I can't believe a bunch of 18 to 20 inch verticals are trying to tell a 50-inch vertical what the correct way to train jumping is. Just listen for once. This is jumping advice, not basketball advice, guys. Here's a good one. You don't have to quit. You just have to play without maximum intent. Just try to preserve your legs when you play. And then this is my favorite one right here, Isaiah Rivera. That's why your handles always seem slow and basic. I'm not trying to be rude, but I've noticed that your handles aren't the best. When I read that, I thought this has to be a 14-year-old. Isaiah Rivera is trying to jump his highest. He's trying to be the highest jumper in the world. I am sure that he doesn't really care about his handles. But let's break this down. So I believe, and I always say this, but I do believe this, I believe that I am the perfect person to give you advice on this because, number one, I am a strength and conditioning coach, and I train many high school, college, semi-pro, and professional basketball players, many of which who would like to jump higher and play a lot of basketball. I am also a high school basketball coach and a high school AAU basketball coach. Not that that means much anymore because anybody can enter a team into an AAU tournament. It's gotten really bad. Anyways, all of my athletes want to be explosive. They want to jump higher. If I ask an athlete, would you like to jump higher or not? Yes, they would like to jump higher. Most of them want to play above the rim, but they also want to be the best that they can be at basketball. So in my opinion, this video from Isaiah Rivera should not be controversial at all. This is like the most common sense advice that you could ever get. Do you jump higher in season or off season? When you're practicing 5 to 6 days a week, you have a ton of games and practices, and you're beating the shit out of your body, your tendons, your muscles all the time with basketball. Is that when you're jumping your highest? No. When you get a little bit of rest and recovery, that is when you are jumping your highest. So this video, it shouldn't be controversial, but I think you hit a nerve, right? Athletes want to play a lot of basketball, but they also want to jump high. So let's just quickly go through each of these sentences. He says 3 things, and I just want to break down each one by one.
Jump higher, stop playing basketball, and train a lot.
If you want to jump higher, stop playing basketball and train a lot. When you think about it, are you going to be able to jump your absolute highest when you are playing basketball or when you're not playing basketball? I think that as a beginner, as a new athlete, as someone who is a young teenager who is just playing sports, I think basketball is actually going to help increase your vertical jump. But then it's like the law of diminishing returns. The more and more that you play, the harder and harder it is for you to increase your vertical. The athletes that I train in person, who I actually have the toughest time helping them increase their vertical jump, are the athletes who just don't fucking stop. They're going to skills training, and then they got AAU, and then they got high school open gym. Like, they just do too much shit. They're playing basketball all of the time. It's just a ton of miles on their body. It's really hard for me to increase their vertical jump because they're just doing too much shit. They're breaking down their body so much without enough rest and recovery. Also, I noticed that guys on my high school team, that I'm with them during the high school season, but then they also play AAU for me in the off season, in the summer, spring, summer, and a little bit of the fall. I see the highest increases on their vertical jump during the summer. Why? Because they get to sleep in. They take naps. They don't have to get up at 7 a.m. for school, 6 a.m. for school. Most of the guys, they're playing this is just to be honest, they're playing video games, 2K, Fortnite, Call of Duty, whatever video games they play that late at night. And then they get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep, and then they wake up for school the next morning. Maybe some of them sleep during school, but they are not getting enough sleep. During the summer, they get a ton of sleep, a ton of rest, a ton more food even, and I see the highest increases in their vertical jump during the summer. Not to mention, we're not playing in season. We're not doing a fall league. We're not doing a spring league, and we're not in season for our high school team. Sure, we're doing AAU, but that's much less than our high school practices are. So they see the highest increases on their vertical during the off season. That is how it's supposed to be. And if you never give yourself an off season, it's going to be really, really tough to increase your vertical jump. Next sentence. I spent a long time on that one. Sorry.
If you only want to jump a little bit higher, keep playing basketball and keep training.
I think everything that he's saying is true. I think it's common sense, but it might be tough to see as a player as to why. So NBA players, right? I'm going to make a statement here. Let's say the highest jumpers. We'll take like Zion. We got Mac McClung. We got Zach LaVine. We got John Morant. We got Ant Edwards. We got a ton of athletes who play basketball, a ton of basketball. Like they have so many games in their schedule, multiple games per week, and they still jump really, 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 really high. Genetics is a wonderful thing. I will say that. They have the genetics. To jump high as hell, no matter what. But those same athletes, had they not had a season and all that they focused on was being the highest jumper in the world, they would jump higher if all that they did was train for vertical jump, then also train for basketball. But I think obviously they wouldn't want to do that, but I think it's just common sense there as well. Last sentence.
And if you don't want to improve your vertical, keep playing a lot of basketball and don't train at all.
If you don't want to improve your vertical, keep playing a lot of basketball and don't train at all. I think that's very true. Obviously, like if you're not training for your vert is not going to increase unless you're that beginner type who gets those beginner gains and you start playing sports and you're getting a bunch of unorganized plyometrics from your basketball, then sure, your vertical is going to increase. Say me, for example, when I just played basketball, let's say 9th grade freshman year for myself in high school, I believe I tested at like a 26-inch vertical jump, which isn't great, but it's not bad for somebody who has never trained in their life. Then I did my first vertical jump program and I exploded my vertical jump like 10 inches within a year, like started dunking everything. So that's me training. Also, I'm at the prime age to increase my vertical jump, but that's me training and playing basketball. But I'm telling you, if I was smart enough, which I was absolutely not even close to smart enough back in the day, but if I was smart enough to write my programming and do just vertical jump training, which I would not have wanted to do because I was a hooper, but if I had only done vertical jump training back in the day and not any basketball, I would have jumped higher had I did the correct training. You have to add plyos, right? Because basketball is a bunch of unorganized plyos, so that is going to cause a stimulus. That is going to be beneficial for your vertical jump in some capacity. It's going to be good for your tendons. You're going to develop that spring. You're going to develop that explosiveness, that twitch from that. But had I not wanted to play basketball and all that I wanted to do was just focus on jumping my absolute highest, the best thing for me to do would be have a specific strength and plyometric program that I periodize and progress week by week by week by week by week. Because basketball is a bunch of unorganized plyos. You don't know how many jumps off your left and your right. You don't know how many actual jumps, submaximal and maximal you're getting. It's really random. It would be for me to focus on vertical jump training that I know exactly what I'm doing, and I progress that week by week, by month, by year by year. Anyways, that is it for this video. Isaiah Rivera says, if you want to jump your highest, you have to stop playing basketball. I think that for any of you who really want to jump your absolute highest, do what Isaiah Rivera does and just sometimes play pickup, but most of the time focus 90% on your training. And then if you want to be good at basketball, just play basketball and also train. That is exactly what I do with all of my athletes, but keep in mind that the toughest athletes for me to help improve are the athletes that play so much basketball that they don't get enough rest and recovery, and their body never has time to adapt. Anyways, that is it for this video. Like this video if you like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave your question down below if you want me to answer your question in a video just like this. And there's a link down below in the pinned comment and the description of this video with access to my advanced training programs if you would like me, a professional strength coach who focuses on basketball players, to set up your sets, your reps, your progressions and regressions, your periodization, your phases, everything that you need to increase your vertical jump as much as possible. Then click that link and check out my vertical jump training programs or my customized vertical jump coaching. But I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.